Wow, look at you all. Still here at the end of a long day, and you're still learning, still investing in your growth. Wow, the lights are flashy, guys. All right. Listen, it's 5:30. You've been here since this morning, and you're still here, still taking notes, still learning. I want to acknowledge that. So can we have a big round of applause for you? For you. What a beautiful introduction. So as you saw, I'm a professional negotiator, from high-stakes deals, billions of dollars, to life and death situations. I first want to know from the audience, who else here is a professional negotiator? Just a handful? All right. I love that. She says, I'm a parent, so I'm a negotiator. Yes, and I salute you for that. You absolutely are. Who here is a parent? You're all negotiators. You're negotiating constantly. Yes. And you know what the problem is? The problem is that only a handful of you raised your hand when I said who is a negotiator because of the image you have. You think a negotiator must be a hostage negotiator, someone who wears suits all the time, or whatever other image you have. And that is a lie. You've been lied to. That is not what a negotiator is. You know what a negotiator is? Someone who negotiates. And you know what a negotiation is? What is a negotiation? I'm going to make things super simple. That is my promise to you. Because everything else is nonsense. That is the whole reason why you didn't raise your hand. A negotiation is a way to get what you need. And we all have needs, right? And you've had needs from the moment you were born. You needed milk, you needed affection, you needed warmth, and you negotiated to get those needs met. All of you parents, you negotiate with your children constantly, right? They don't want to eat their veggies, they don't want to go to bed. They're good negotiators, aren't they? You were that kid once. You've been negotiating all your life. So I want you to walk away from this realizing that you are a negotiator. Why? Because when we don't realize that we are a negotiator, and we don't step into our power as a negotiator, what happens? We don't speak up. We say yes when we want to say no. We leave money on the table. We regret things. You tell me. Think about the moment. I'm going back because the lights are a bit too much. Guys, can we have a little bit less flashy light, please? You tell me. Thank you. Think about a moment where you had a need, but you didn't ask for it. You didn't speak up. You didn't ask that person out. You didn't ask for that raise. You didn't ask for that discount. Take a minute to think about it. How did that make you feel? I hear it all the time. Bad, ashamed, like a loser, regret. Those are heavy feelings, aren't they? And they can linger for months, for years, for decades. That is the consequence of not negotiating. And not negotiating is what you do when you don't realize that you are a negotiator. You don't need me to tell you. You don't need a certificate. You don't need to go to a business school to realize that you're a negotiator. You are a negotiator because you've been negotiating all your life. And it costs you too much to not do it. You leave money on the table. But way worse than that, living with that regret, you pay with your health. You pay with your self-respect. And that is going to end right now. Because you're walking out of this door as a negotiator. Yes or yes? Gladiators, are you negotiators? Who here is a negotiator? Thank you, now I can go. Thank you, bye. Exactly, exactly. So by changing the mindset, you already became a negotiator. And now that you know that you're a negotiator, you're going to show up in life differently. You are going to ask for that thing, even if it makes you uncomfortable. Because living with the regret of not doing it is not worth it. Stop saying no to yourself before you've given another the opportunity to say no. Like, what's that about? Right? Shall I tell you how I became aware of all this and the moment that changed my life, when I changed into this perspective, what I learned from it? I want to share that with you so you walk away not only realizing that you're a negotiator, having the tools to do it better and show up as the winner that you are. It can literally save lives. So it's a personal story. Shall I share it? I love you. All right. Come with me back more than a decade. 2013, I was working in corporate. I've spent 15 years on trading floors of investment banks, negotiating financial deals. So I was already an experienced negotiator, but just like you, I didn't see myself as a negotiator because nobody changed my mind about it like I just did. And I was fortunate to work for a company that invested a lot in corporate training. They brought in 2 professional negotiators to train us, and it was the best year I've ever had. It was a fantastic training. I became a certified professional negotiator, and here I was thinking, now I can negotiate anything with anyone, right? Wrong. I couldn't be more wrong. Because right when I thought that, life thought, oh, really? Let's humble you a little bit. Come with me to 2017. I'm already a certified professional negotiator. I think I can negotiate myself out of anything. Until D-Day, diagnosis day. Come with me as we're going into the doctor's office in Paris, where they've been running tests on my son. My son Alexander is 6 years old, and they've noticed that there's something off, but they don't know what. And we've been through test after test after test, and this is the day where they're going to tell me. I brace myself as I walk into the doctor's office, and she says, the test results are back, and it's bad news. Unfortunately, your son has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. I hope you've never heard of it. Duchenne muscular dystrophy breaks down the muscles one by one. It's progressive. It gets worse. There is no cure yet, and life expectancy is about 20, 24 years old. It is 100% fatal. So what do you do then? What would you do? The life you thought you had is over, right? Here they are telling you your son's condition is going to get worse and worse and worse until he dies. Who are you going to negotiate with if there is no deal on the table? And that, ladies and gentlemen, is when inner negotiations come in. When there is no way out, you have to deal with yourself. And that, I can tell you, is the toughest negotiation of your life. But when you consider yourself a negotiator, it makes it easier. And that can be the beginning of totally changing yourself and building a better relationship with yourself, which then will have an impact on all your other negotiations in life. Of course, as a mother, I did everything I could to give him the best life possible. We moved from one country to another. I put him in the best school I could. And I kept praying and praying for a solution. And then the solution came. A treatment. A treatment, after long years of research, got FDA approved. There was only one problem: the price. It's a one-time IV infusion, It's still not a cure, but it would help us gain time, and hopefully they would find something in that time, and we would have a bit longer with my child. You have a wild guess. One-time IV infusion. How much is the price? What does that cost? 100,000? 400,000? 1.5 million? That one-time IV infusion, ladies and gentlemen, that is still not a cure, but a treatment, costs 3.2 million US dollars. 10 million dirhams. I didn't have 10 million dirhams on a savings account. So what did I do? Of course, I negotiated. And everybody said that's impossible, and these labs, they don't negotiate. But since I had that identity of a negotiator, I had to try. And I tried. And this is the shift that I want in your life. That the next time you're in front of this impossible mountain, you put on your negotiator hat, you put on your negotiator identity, and you tell yourself, I'm going to try anyway. I prefer them saying no than me saying no to myself. Is that a promise? Will you step up as that negotiator when you have to? Great. So I did. And those negotiations were horrible. They were long, they were emotional, and of course I got 15,000 no's, and I kept going because the alternative was not an option. And I'm glad to tell you that insurance said yes. And now the real negotiation started. Because as soon as they said yes, we thought, okay, let's go. And then, shortly after, we found out that unfortunately, one boy died from the side effects of this drug. So what should I do now? Should I still give it or not? What if the drug kills my son? That's where inner negotiations come in, you see? All the skills you need to be a good negotiator, I want you today to transform them into inner negotiations with yourself. And I'm going to give you 4 that can really help you. 4 letters, remember how to lead any negotiation. Are you ready? First, the L stands for listen. Of course, listening to others is super important. You've all heard about active listening. But I want you to listen to yourself. How does this situation make me feel? How does this person make me feel? Connect with your nervous system. Is it a yes or is it a no? What should I do? You have all the answers inside, but we forget to listen. All right? Second step is empathy. Empathy for others, super important. Empathy for yourself, even more. What do I need? Can I show up with grace, with compassion, and give me what I need? Because when you fill your own cup, you can obviously serve everyone else better. All right? Third step, ask. Many negotiations fail, not because anybody said no, but because we didn't even ask. We didn't get it because we didn't ask. Ask. Let them say no. Let them reject you. You can overcome rejection. It's much better to overcome rejection than overcome a what if, overcome regret, overcome shame. You can overcome rejection. Fuck it. Okay? Ask. When you're scared, ask. When you're uncomfortable, ask. It doesn't matter. Become comfortable being uncomfortable asking. I promise you it will open so many doors. Did I think I was going to get a drug of $3.2 million? Of course not. Did I know insurance was going to say no? Of course. Did I ask anyway? Yes. Lead, I said. Listen, empathy, ask, and D is this is where you take your power back from any negotiation table. The D stands for decide. We often think a negotiation is difficult because what will they say? What if they say this? What if they say no? But it doesn't matter what they say. What matters is what you do with what they say. Okay? So you decide. That is where you take your power back. You decide what's happening here, and based on what's happening, what am I going to do with it? How am I going to show up? All right? And with those 4 letters, you lead yourself, you lead any negotiation internally, and then you lead the negotiation externally, and that is how you lead your life, how you lead your business, and how you win over and over and over again. Because you might not have any influence on what's happening. Like, I don't have influence on what's happening in my son's life, but you do have influence about how you show up. All right? Now that we all agree that you're all negotiators, I have one question for you. Would you, even if it's uncomfortable, would you show up as the best negotiator you can be if you had to negotiate for the life of your child? For the life of anyone you love? Would you do it? Would you still ask even if you're uncomfortable? Would you push through the no's? Then this is what I invite you to do. Please speak up for yourself as well, because your needs matter, your life matters, and you matter. Go and win your deals. Thank you so much. You've been amazing. Thank you.